Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode on the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We haven't been with you for a while. We're going through some changes over here on our side of things. We'll keep you updated as soon as we can. We thought we'd maybe have a Jets off season, maybe just a couple of weeks at least to the new year, to the new league year starts. Doesn't look that way, so we're back. As always, my name is John Meleka at J Meleka on Twitter, and joined by my buddy, my co-host, my pal. I haven't said that in a while. My main man, Greg. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be here. Like you said, with the Jets stuff, we haven't done an episode in a little while. A couple things came up, making some changes we're very excited about. So I'm happy that, we'll start implementing them soon, hopefully. But not much has changed. We did 3-4 episodes in a row where it was, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. Granted, we did, sign Nathaniel Hackett. To remind you guys, we signed a couple of offensive staff members. So that was exciting. That was nice to talk about. We had some good segments on that stuff. But since that point, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson have won the Rookie of the Years on both sides of the football. And not much has really changed for the Jets right now. Things changed today. Things changed today in a major way. So I'm happy that we're back. I'm happy that we're here to talk about it, catch everyone up, catch ourselves up on what's going on with these Jets, because there's a lot to cover. And it's exciting because hopefully something happens soon and we could really start talking about this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty on point so far with what's going to happen, except for the Derek Carr to the specific Saints. We didn't call that a while ago, but all the tea leaves were there. But let's just start from the beginning here. And we have our boy Joe. If you're watching on the YouTube, we got our boy Joe Douglas here in the corner. We hear from him once a year. It makes people really angry, but when he comes out, he usually doesn't say anything. This year, I really felt like he said something. To begin, the fact that he started off with a joke about, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about safeties, alluding to the fact that everybody had quarterback questions. I legit have so many safety questions. So I feel like I'd like raise my hand, be like, "Hey, sir, like I have a lot of safety questions. If you want to start with me to like get your mind off." But at that time, Derek Carr was the only free agent because he was cut before the year, and at that point, the only two meetings that any of us knew about was to the Saints, which was agreed upon by the Vegas Raiders, which means that they agreed to draft compensation, but Derek Carr did not agree to change his contract, right?
Yep.
And then on the other hand, after he became a free agent and he got his like 5.6 million, whatever it was, which we said was going to happen the whole time. Why would he help the Vegas Raiders get a draft pick while making his new team suffer? And he just doesn't get a free $6 million tax free from Vegas. Like, it makes no sense. Obviously, you're going to do that and go on your own terms.
Yep.
The Jets had two meetings with Derek Carr, including one during the scouting combine where the entire NFL is in Indy. So everything was going wild during that time. The Jets talked about it. They said that they loved him. Reports that they called him a Hall of Fame quarterback. Probably a bit much.
If he wins one, right? If he wins the Super Bowl, they said he would be a Hall of Fame quarterback no matter what. Still might be a little bit of push, but who knows? We'll never know now.
It's a bit much.
Definitely never have to worry about him playing in the cold weather, which is beautiful. There's a lot of things we don't have to worry about now. Derek Carr off the table.
That's what I was going to start with. Everybody started freaking out as soon as Derek Carr went to the Saints, which again has coached by Dennis Allen, who drafted him when they were both in Oakland. At that point and at this moment, I feel like we could start really right there. Are you panicked about that? Are you panicked about Derek Carr going to the Saints? Are you because it's like everybody has been talking about either Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. That's been the sentiment. So before we get into the actual transactions that are made for the Jets, let's just talk about Derek Carr here. How did that make you feel, and how are you feeling now as a Jets fan? Looking into the quarterback situation once Derek Carr.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Option A, Aaron Rodgers. Option B, Lamar Jackson. Option C, Derek Carr. The problem is that it doesn't always go in the order that you want it to go. So while you're holding out for option A and Aaron Rodgers, option B might move away with Lamar Jackson. Option C might move away with Derek Carr. And then we talked about in some of these episodes, you're looking at the Ryan Tannehills and that of the world to quarterback this team because Zach Wilson's not the option right now. And all of a sudden, it's like, am I really better off with, trading for Jimmy G than I am with just going with Zach Wilson? You're in a world of hurt before the season even started because you're holding out for Aaron Rodgers, who could retire, could go back to Green Bay, could go somewhere else. There's so many things for Aaron Rodgers. So I'm a little concerned about it because I think I like Derek Carr more than most people. There was a lot of people that were negative about him last year when I was touting him as a top 10 quarterback. Didn't have a good season this year. The Raiders had a down year overall. And, there's all this, he's not good at cold weather. So, if we get Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, am I upset? No. If we don't get Aaron Jackson,
Yeah.
it's a big problem. I think Derek Carr would have been a great option. If I had the option right now to just lock up Derek Carr no matter what, and this way, no matter what happens with Lamar, no matter what happens with Rodgers, we have Derek Carr and he's our guy. I don't think I would have done it because I don't know if it gets you to the same stratosphere as Rodgers or Lamar. And I think we have a very good pitch to Rodgers or Lamar right now because I think we truly are in a win now scenario if we get a good quarterback that can stay healthy all season and can quarterback this team into the playoffs and make a deep run. I don't know if Derek Carr can make a deep run.
So that makes me feel good because you were not only touting Derek Carr before he was talked about even getting off of Vegas, calling him the top 10 QB last year. This year, he was terrible. He was leading the league in interceptions until that magical run by Dak Prescott in the last couple of games of the season when Carr got benched. I mean, that was his trophy all year, most interceptions. Hasn't looked good. But you were on the bandwagon. You brought out your notes to try to, prove wrong his record in the cold, to prove wrong all his bad stats and kind of focus on the good ones. So the fact that you wouldn't have pulled that trigger right away makes me feel good. I definitely wouldn't have. I know the thing is we projected this to happen. So I know even if you project it at that moment when he signs with the Saints, you're like, damn. You know what I mean? Like we still haven't heard from Rodgers. Like, Tannehill's staying with the Titans. Now what do we do? I get that feeling, but I'm glad that we're on the same page there. I'm happy for Derek Carr. The contract was team friendly. It was fine. Like just like he said, you know what I mean? He kept up to his deal, and it's $60 million at signing and then $10 million in the third year. That's kind of how it falls out. So he's going to be there for 2-3 years. Guess what? After that nice conversation, after that nice relationship, regardless of really what we do at quarterback, we're going to be looking for another quarterback in 2-3 years. Derek Carr is good to go. You know what I mean? He plays okay. He plays decently. We need a new quarterback. Maybe he could fit right in. The relationship has been set. So I'm happy with how Joe Douglas handled that. I'm happy with how Coach Saleh handled that.
Yeah, we took him out to a nice restaurant. Everyone saw the picture. It was going around Twitter. Everyone saw the picture. Took him out to a nice restaurant. Had a good conversation. Nathaniel
but they had the second meeting, Greg. They had the second meeting. Yeah. That's what was important. You know what I mean? That's how you know.
Yes,
there's something building there. Whether it's because of the two Titans coaches that we got, and Downing is linked to Carr. Doesn't matter what the reason is. We have a good relationship there, so I'm happy about that. Another thing I'm really happy about with the Jets, they mentioned Quinnen Williams in a very confident way. That's the thing I was alluding to with Joe Douglas, saying he doesn't really say much. He was kind of alluding to the fact that Quinnen Williams is all set. All right. We have Duane Brown, who had terrible shoulder issues last year. We're still playing through it. I remember seeing it in Minnesota and texting you. I was like, dude, Duane Brown's arm looks like it's falling off in between plays. I can't believe he's just getting up acting like everything's normal as soon as they hike it for those 10 seconds. Because in between, he's like dying. So the news from him is he did off-season shoulder surgery or some sort of maneuver, medical maneuver, because it's kind of kept under wraps. And he's coming back to be the starting left tackle. So that's something that's solidified for us, okay? We have a starting left tackle. We have a starting left guard, whether you like it or not. It's Laken Tomlinson. We don't have a center. Connor McGovern is looking like he's being shopped around other places in this free agency. Looks like he might go somewhere else.
Yep.
We have a right guard in Elijah Vera Tucker, but we don't have a real. Do we have a right tackle in Mekhi Becton? I don't know. Question mark. But I guess so. He's been posting pictures. He looks good, but we don't have a 50-year option on him. So that's a
Yep.
1-year deal as well. So we got a 1-year deal on our left tackle, a 1-year deal on our left guard, a 1-year deal on our right tackle who has been, and the 2 tackles have been injured. One plays through his injury, one hasn't been able to. That's what we're looking
Yep.
at. And our right guard is coming off a torn bicep. So even though things are looking okay for now, we have a lot of work to do on the offensive line. But shout out to Duane Brown. At least we know he's going to be back. Do you have any comments on the offensive line, just the way it's assembled right now? Any thoughts going into free agency and the draft real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you get someone of Rodgers or Lamar's caliber, I think that helps the offensive line tremendously. I think that if you get someone of Rodgers or Lamar's caliber, that makes it even more appealing location to sign a free agent if we need to pick up a free agent tackle to back up or be the right tackle for Mekhi. I think Mekhi is going to be a starting right tackle if he's healthy. But if not, we're going to need a tackle. We're going to need an extra offensive lineman throughout the season. We see it every year. You're going to need multiple offensive linemen because people are going to get hurt, just what it is. You're going to need a center to come in if we can't resign who we got. So, if you go to the center free agent market and you say, hey, you want to play to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers in New York, I think there's a lot of people that are going to line up in the free agent pool compared to going to some other teams. So I think that if we get one of these big name guys, it really helps out with the offensive line, not only from like on the field play, like get the ball out quick, know your adjustments, know where you're sliding, get them all set, but also in creating an environment where it's appealing to free agents to come and play. And dude, I love Duane Brown. Like you said, you saw it when you were at the game. You talked about it. Since that point on, I loved him because he battled through it. He didn't play great the whole season, but he played well enough. And the biggest thing for us, or the biggest thing for me, is that he was on the field playing football at a decent level, where a lot of our offensive linemen for the last 3 years cannot do that. So if he's healthy and he's feeling good after this off-season procedure or whatever it might have been, I'm very excited for that because and Lincoln Tomlinson too. He didn't have the best season in his first year as a Jet. If those two can solidify and get that left side figured out, because they're veteran guys, they're savvy guys, they get a little rep, they get a little practice in the offseason together, they come back healthy and ready to go. I like the left side of our offensive line. It's just a matter of that center position is going to be so critical, no matter who we get to be quarterback this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I hope we're looking at the center from Minnesota. But we have definitely gonna have some draft stuff coming out. But the reason why
Big
this is
combine.
important is because let's get into it, man. It's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Whether or not he's on the McAfee show, it's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday today. And before we get into the specifics of him as a quarterback, if we sign him, if we actually are looking at Aaron Rodgers, the cap is going to be fine. Obviously, They might restructure the contract, so it might even look better. But right now, the cap is fine for the next 2 years. And in my estimation, the draft compensation is not going to be terrible. At most, they're going to get a first-round pick. Is it going to be this year's, which is not that great of a draft? Is it going to be a conditional second next year that can go up to a first? You know what I mean? And then like a third this year. I feel like it's going to be something like that. It's going to be a little bit easy. Maybe they want Corey Davis. You know what I mean? And a wide receiver who's a veteran that could play in the cold weather for Jordan Love to be their number one. Maybe they want him on that $15 million contract, which if you look at free agency is an absolute steal. You know what I mean? So they're like Jordan Love on 1 year, Corey Davis 1 year. Like let's run that because their cap is going to be screwed from getting rid of Rodgers through the dead cap. That's just a fact. So I wonder if maybe they're going to, have that kind of conversation. But dude, everything changes if it's Aaron Rodgers. I'm wondering if having the tackles also might ease that on us. Like, it's okay. Take this first and leave us alone. You know what I mean? Don't ask for anything else. You're taking the 13th pick. It's not a hypothetical first with Aaron Rodgers, which is going to be hopefully in the late 20s right? Like, here's the 13 to just go away. I don't know if Joe Douglas would do all that. However, on the other hand, I'm wondering if I'd be okay with that at this point. If it's just that, like, we'll still have the high second. The 13th is a lot, but we're gonna take one of the 3 tackles. I don't think we're taking the safety branch. And if we have the tackle solidified, like, all right, we'll just figure it out later. You know what I mean? We'll just have to grab, the center in the second. We'll just have to grab a tackle later. Maybe Bakhtari will like do something with his contract to come with his friend, Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. What do you think about the whole situation? What do you think about this whole? I mean, we didn't even talk about what happened.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think about the? What do you think about the? At least at this point, what the trade compensation would be? Because without bearing the lead any longer, I mean, the Jets, quote unquote, brass is on Woody Johnson's plane that landed, earlier today. They're leaving in a couple hours, right? Like maybe like 5-6 hours from now. So we'll have an update. When you hear it, we'll hear it. We'll record. But they're visiting him in Malibu. So like, what do you think? What do you think about the draft compensation? And then if you want to get into the Aaron Rodgers situation, like what do you think now?
Dude, I think it's kind of what I was saying last time we talked. Whatever it takes to get Aaron Rodgers, you do it. Whatever it takes. So if it's a first this year, it's a first this year. If it's a first and more picks, it's a first and more picks. I agree with you. I don't think that it's going to be a first this year because I just don't get that vibe. I don't think that the market is as hot on these guys. Like we saw the report come out. I don't know how true it is about all these teams that are not interested in Lamar Jackson.
We'll talk
Like I
about
know,
that. We'll talk about
yeah.
that.
I just, but I just that just makes me wonder if the quarterback market is as hot as other people as we thought a month ago or 3 weeks ago or
Well,
whatever.
Daniel Jones just got 2 years, 40 mil each year, and at the other
Yeah.
hand, Gino, what was his guarantees? A little bit under 100.
Yeah, 103 years, I think, right?
Was that the guarantees or was that the full contract?
I
Go
think
ahead.
that's
I'll
the
look it
full
up.
contract. I think that's the full contract. I don't think it was his guarantees.
Hmm.
But yeah, so to me, it's whatever it takes for Aaron Rodgers. I just always think of the Marvel like preview commercials for whatever it was Endgame. Whatever it takes, like whatever we got to do to get Rodgers, we got to do. I'm all for it. If it's not a first round pick this year, I agree with you. I think we're going tackle, or if there's a great defensive lineman that's available, I think those are the 2 premium positions that we could add to or address this draft. I think it's going to be a quarterback heavy draft. So I think there's going to be opportunity for us to maneuver around and find a spot somewhere with none of these quarterbacks really impressing me. I think there's definitely going to be some opportunities for some guys to fall because it might go 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks in the top 15. And that moves top end blue chip prospects down the line. So if we can hold on to that first round pick and get Aaron Rodgers, this is a masterclass offensive season from Joe Douglas and the brain trust that went out to California on this private flight to go talk with him in Malibu.
So I think that's going to be the key here. What?
If you're the type of person out there, by the way, like I'm starting to get mad at Jets fans online. If you're out there and like we trade a first round pick for Aaron Rodgers, and you're like that's too much, stop it. Just go home, declare yourself a Giants fan. Like I can't listen to that. I can't listen to that. Like you're not a Jets fan. You're not like it's just ridiculous. Like the people out there that are talking about how the New York media is gonna be too much for Rodgers. He doesn't want to come here. Like,
That
dude,
sounds
just
crazy.
shut up. Just
That
stop
sounds
it.
crazy.
Just stop it. There's not too many picks. There's nothing that we can give Green Bay that's too much. He's a 2-time MVP, back-to-back, 2 years ago? Like, he's Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. Like, the dude is legit. We're trying to win right now. If it takes 2 first-round picks and a couple others, then that's what it takes. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I mean, I at the end of the day, I agree with you. I'm not gonna shed tears, but again, if you're asking me how I would structure it, if we're keeping the contract the same, especially, but I think he's gonna help out the Packers. To be honest with you, I think he's gonna. I don't know. I feel like somehow, some way, he's gonna change up his whole contract to not screw over the Packers so much, and because of that, we're gonna end up even giving them less draft compensation.
Yeah, maybe.
But who knows? I would way rather give up next year. Even if you're gonna pull my leg and I can't make it a conditional, I'll give you next year's first.
Oh,
I,
of course.
I want to keep this year's, and I want to trade down. That really would be ideal for me. I like a
Yeah.
lot of players at the end of the first and the beginning of the second, middle third. That's really where it comes up for me. However, and again, we're gonna do draft episodes coming up soon, coming up hot. I've been consuming a lot of draft stuff here. Shout out to Connor Rodgers, who is literally dude. Connor Rodgers, I love you, dude. I listen to everything you do, like all your Patreons, everything, dude. I love your draft coverage. You're the man. Anyway, I really like Jalen Carter. I'm sorry. If he is there at 13,
There's no
I'm scared of
way.
the Texans at 12.
There's no way.
Dude, I think he's dropping. He last mock draft I saw today, he dropped to the Texans at 12 because that's their second first round pick too. So that's a gamble that they can take. If he's there at, I would even think about trading up to 12 if I'm at 13. He is
Yeah.
unbelievable. I know he had the off the field situation right now, and now he's being labeled. If
Yep.
Jalen Carter and Quinnen Williams are on our defensive line, I am fighting to the death to keep our pick this year. Just take next year's first, Green Bay. Just take it and leave me
That's what I'm
alone.
saying. Take next year's first, a third this year, and a third
Yeah,
next year. Like, who cares? Like, whatever you want.
yeah, I'm okay with that. I would really cry about that third at the end there for next year, but
Who
I would
cares,
at the end of the
dude?
day, I would
We're
sign
winning a
off.
Super Bowl this year if we get Rodgers. So who
Yeah,
cares?
I would sign off. I would sign. Yeah, I agree. I would sign off. I do really want to bring in Keyshawn Nixon, the star returner for Green Bay this year. And one of his really good friends, they were talking about how they made a huge relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If Mercedes Lewis wants to come hang out with Uzama and
Conklin,
Conklin and our rookie, if he wants to come
Rucker,
hang out
yeah.
with them, and we could still draft another rookie because the tight ends are really good this year in the draft, I'm okay with that. Yeah, with Rucker, I'm okay with all that. If he wants to come hang out, Bakhtari's going to be a problem. I don't know what's going on with his contract. But really quick, before we move on to the last topic of the day, the Lamar Jackson good news and controversy, in my opinion. What do you think about Alan Lazard? Do you think Alan Lazard is worth it to come to this team? Like, are we just going to appease Rodgers? He's going to take up the cap. Like, signing him has consequences. You know what I mean? It's not baseball. It's going to have legit consequences on what else we could maneuver. Because I also didn't mention Quincy Williams, our beloved linebacker, who is Quinnen Williams' brother that we picked up, who got cut from Jacksonville. He's looking for a Chris Smith contract, in my opinion, but he's beloved. Like, he's going to get paid a little bit more. And if we sign Quinnen Williams, which Joe Douglas was confident about, that means Quincy Williams is coming. And with CJ Mosley there, Quan Alexander's the odd man out. So he's gone. If we want money to sign Trey Edmonds, which is the rumor, off the Bills as a linebacker, if we want to be in on one of the top safeties, hopefully that dropped, these contracts are going to make a difference.
Yeah, I think that to me, it's a swap out for Corey Davis. If we could get rid of Corey Davis and bring in Alan Lazard to make Rodgers happy, then I'm all for it. To me, Lazard doesn't move the needle. Corey Davis doesn't move the needle. They're both fine players. They're both not number one wide receivers. They're both okay. If Rodgers feels like he's more comfortable with Lazard because he's played a few seasons with him, that's fine. They both get hurt every season. They both miss time. They both kind of make bad plays. They're both inconsistent. They're both getting paid the same amount. They're both around the same size. Again, Corey Davis is a 5th overall pick. I'll say that to the day I'm dead. He was supposed to be something. Alan Lazard, I don't think was ever supposed to be this great generational wide receiver. To me, it's a swap out. All right, fine. We'll get rid of Corey Davis. We'll bring in Lazard. Doesn't affect the cap a ton. I know that changes it a little bit, but they're both making around 14, 15 million a year. Okay, that's cool. I'm not signing both of them. We don't need both of them. We have Garrett Wilson. We have Moore, who needs to figure out what his role is going to be because Garrett Wilson's here to stay. Garrett Wilson's legit. So
I hope they're both here to stay, man.
Dude, I'm kind of okay with Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore if Elijah Moore can get it together. And then, a slot guy or some other guy. Like Elijah Moore had flashes.
I want more in the slot. I want Garrett is a number one, but I'd like him to just hang out as a number two for now until we have to pay him. I would get a
Yeah.
number one, like an outside number one. That would be beautiful, man. Looks like D
Yeah, if we could
Hop
have a big
wants to get his butt to the Cowboys, so that looks like he's out of the picture. But like Keenan Allen, in my opinion, he's still a guy. He's still a guy that, in my opinion, that could be traded.
he's not a one outside guy though. That's a slot guy. That's a middle of the field guy.
there's not much. There's not much else.
No, there's not a ton. There's not a ton. That's why, it's so crazy to see Devonta Adams traded 2 seasons ago for 2 first-round picks. And then they're rebuilding the whole team now all of a sudden. It's like you got one of the best wide receivers on their league. That's why it's crazy to see D Hop getting, possibly moving around or whatever. You
That
don't
one
see
makes
these
sense
guys
to me
move.
though.
Yeah, he's a little bit older. He's obviously had injuries, had the PEDs, and their team's kind of weird, the Cardinals with Kyler Murray and
Yeah.
changing the coach and all that stuff. So I get it, but you just don't see it that often. Like you just don't see it. Stephon Diggs, another one. You don't see it too often where you're a solid number one wide receiver for a team and you just move teams. Usually those wide receiver type guys, they get locked up because they're so hard to find. So,
Can
if
I just
someone
make a
hits free
crazy note?
agency,
Can I make a crazy note? Because you mentioned his old friend number 17, Devontae Adams, and you
yeah,
mentioned that the Vegas is in a rebuild, and we all know they're strapped for cash.
yeah.
Devontae Adams right now, he's a 14.7 million dead cap hit. He expands next year to 25. I think you can kind of get rid of him, but he's gonna hurt the Raiders for the next couple years, especially if they're not gonna compete.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are though. I don't know. I don't know if they are because then they could just get Anthony Richardson and compete with Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? That could be how they're gonna take it. But if you
Dude.
if you designate him as a post June 1st trade, they have 7.8 million of dead cap this year, but they also get 6.8 million in savings. And then next year in 2024, they have a $23 million dead cap, and then they're done. They're done with the whole Devontae Adams contract. Again, though, they lost 2 first-round picks, though, so it's going to probably take too much to be able to get him from the Raiders. But if they're just doing a cap deal, you know what I mean? Like they're like, we know we made the mistake on the first. It's too late. Maybe give me like a conditional whatever, second or whatever to recoup, but we need to save money. Like I don't know. I wonder if Devontae Adams might be a thing too, but it would be
I
really
mean,
hard probably.
that would definitely be the next rumor I start if we sign Aaron Rodgers. As soon as Aaron Rodgers puts on a Jets jersey, I see him with a signed contract. That's the first thing I'm talking about because bring home Devontae. Let's get this chick going because I'm trying to win this season. I
All
mean, it
right.
would be incredible.
You want to know who my guy is if Aaron Rodgers signs, who I'm going to be screaming off the rooftop for?
Who?
Jamal Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah,
be
bring him home.
screaming. I'm going to be screaming off the roof. Bring back Aaron Rodgers, Jamal Williams, Nathaniel Hackett, and Breece Hall coming off of ACL. Like that to me would be amazing. He led the league in touchdowns. He's the red zone guy. We got Aaron Rodgers. We got Garrett Wilson. We got tight ends galore. Which, what a world. What a concept. Now all we have to do is defend them. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that on another day.
Real quick, though, you
Jalen
said
Carter's there, and you add Jalen
Anthony.
Carter with Quinnen Williams, dude. You add Jalen Carter on the other side with Quinnen Williams. Like by the time the Quinnen Williams contract is done, then Jalen Carter needs to get paid. Like it'll work out perfectly, man. Like you just give him what a first year rookie's making, Quinnen Williams on that second contract. You pay Carter, like everything works out perfect there.
It
Oh,
all starts with Rodgers. It all starts with Rodgers. Real quick, at the 29-ish minute mark, I got to note it because I got to clip this for later. You brought up Anthony Richardson's name. I think he's going to be a generational bust. I think so many people are
wow,
getting
you
so
caught me,
excited
dude. You
about
just
him.
broke my neck. I thought you were about to
Just
say he's about to be a generational bust.
generational bust, dude. He's going to be someone like the Jamar Russells of the world, the Ryan
Jamarcus Russell,
Leafs
didn't
of the
even want to
world,
say his
Jamarcus
name. How
Russells.
disrespectful.
Yeah. The Ryan Leafs of the world. I think he's going to be. People are getting so excited about his combine, so excited about him throwing in shorts. Dude, have you watched the guy play at all the last 2 seasons? Dude, he stinks. So, can't wait to see it.
Can I make a quick note about that?
Sure.
We've toted the Mojo app a couple times here.
Yep.
The stock for players. I've been all over Anthony Richardson. My stock is up 93.5% since I got him.
Sell.
No, I'm
So
holding it for now, dude. It's gonna go so high when someone drafts in the top 10. You don't think someone's gonna draft in the top 10?
no, I think no, you're right. I think they are. I thought that's baked in already. That's why it's up
No, well,
93%.
it's going up and up and up now until he gets drafted in the top 10.
Yeah,
It
once he
wasn't
gets drafted in the
$15
top
a
10
share.
before he reports to OTAs, sell some. Sell some. You don't have to sell it all, but sell some. Because, dude, I'm telling you, when they find out he can't hit a guy, you're talking about Josh Allen, he can't throw a slant, and Richardson can't throw the ball to people
Yo,
for quarters at a time.
this whole Josh Allen can't throw a slant thing really came back this year, but we kept it on hush. Also, another thing that was kept on hush is we heard his UCL. He was about to be out for the year. He played every game, and everyone made fun of him. And Brock Purdy did the same thing, and he literally threw lefty in the game. He was just like, I can't do that. Which I don't know. Just talk about quarterbacks. Well, speaking of
Josh
quarterbacks,
Allen's the real deal.
Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers in the same division.
Tua Tagovailoa, it's a division of quarterbacks. Speaking of, I say that up to segue because Miami said we're not interested in Lamar Jackson. We got Tua. We think Tua's the perfect fit for what Mike McDaniel's trying to run here in Miami. I want to know what Mike McDaniel's trying to run in Miami because their offense stinks in the back half of the season. What is he trying to run that they're so happy with Tua about?
Dude, he beat
suck.
the Jets. Dude, he beat the Jets with Skylar Thompson, bro. He beat the Jets with Skylar Thompson, dude.
Skylar Thompson, God bless you. Good luck to you.
Yeah, dude. The Dolphins are already all over the news for a couple of reasons. One, Tom Brady was rumored to go to the Dolphins, even though he already signed his papers, and then he tweeted something about a kitten and his daughter, and alluding to the fact that he's not coming back, so we can stop that rumor.
Yep.
But let's talk about Lamar Jackson, man. This is a Lamar Jackson segment. To be honest, everything is going great right now for all of New York sports. To be honest with you, the Mets are looking good for you. The Yankees are looking good for me. The Knicks
Ghost Fork. That's all I have to say. The Ghost Fork is coming for you. If you're on our schedule this year, the Ghost Fork will be showing up, and it will take no prisoners.
The Knicks are unbelievable. Okay, they are hopefully about to finish this 10-game win streak right now. I'm going on the road with them to LA. Like the Knicks are on fire. The Rangers trade for Patrick Reed, and they're on fire. Well, they're slow since they got him, but they're on fire.
Can the Rangers win the division? Can the Rangers win the division, or no? Is that over?
Listen. They play Carolina 2 times in a row at the end of this month. So
yeah,
I'm banking on it. I got a lot of parlays with all that all over. It's going to be difficult. Also, right in between
I have it like plus 2,000. I took it like a week or two ago. I have it plus 2,000. It shot up to like plus 3,500, and I was like, "What the hell?" I thought I was in this.
So they lost a couple games since they got Patrick Kane. But I was also going to note in between them and the Canes is the Jersey Devils. So everything is really they're killing it, and like everything is really going good around these parts. And what the why I'm mentioning that is today has been such a great day. Like we're talking about the Knicks win streak. They have the Hornets today. They're up by 16. We're staring at the Rangers and Devils schedules because they're looking good. The Yankees and the Mets go looking good in spring training, and the Jets are going to California to meet with Aaron Rodgers, the only team that's been granted permission to talk with because from the Green Bay, which maybe they have a good relationship. That Salah and LaFleur guy, huh? Maybe that actually mattered at the end of the day.
Yeah, something we've been talking about for 3 months.
And then on top of that, Lamar Jackson gets non-exclusive tagged, which I mean, this is what I was hoping and praying for the last couple of months with Lamar Jackson. People were making fun of me. My cousin's a Ravens fan from Baltimore, been fighting. He's about how they have the best GM, the best front office. They would never non-exclusive him. They non-exclusive franchise tagged Lamar Jackson, which means he's a restricted free agent in NBA terms, which means any team can negotiate with him up to July 17th, I believe, can negotiate with Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens would have 5 days to match that contract. And if they do not, then the team has to give them 2 first-round picks, which means that even in order to be eligible, you have to have a first-round pick this year, which eliminates a couple of teams like the Dolphins and the 49ers. Speaking of teams that are eliminated and, tinfoil hats, about 8 teams came out right away as soon as this news dropped because, again, Lamar Jackson has no agent, and he's under contract with the Ravens. So you can't tell him. You can't like sneak stuff to the agent and tampering because they literally have to call Lamar Jackson and tell him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He has no agent, or that's how it's presented. Maybe he has a friend or a buddy that talks for him, but it's presented as if they talk directly to him. At this point, all the teams that need a quarterback said they're not interested, except for the Houston Texans. Right? I believe that's the only team I could see. Maybe the Colts are in there. Both teams
The
are
Jets,
rumored to
though,
be drafting quarterbacks. Both teams have those are the only two teams that didn't mention that they wanted him. But the Raiders, the Commanders, which I think those are owner problems, right? We're gonna put with the tinfoil hat is because we think the owners are colluding and all not, on purpose, like denouncing the Deshaun Watson contract and at the same time telling Lamar Jackson to chill out. You're not going to ruin quarterback contracts for us. That's what we bargained for with the guarantees, just because Watson sucks, and then the Haslams ruined that for us. That's the collusion hat. But like when it comes to the Commanders and the Raiders, you got to put $200 to $250 million in escrow. Like I'm thinking about that for the Derek Carr. Like they had to put the $60 million for him out today. Like that hurts, dude. That really hurts. So I don't think the Commanders, when they're trying to sell the team, the Raiders, who are notoriously cash strapped, they just can't afford it. There's some other teams in there though that maybe should have been interested, or at least it just came out a little too fast. I think that's why. But there's a couple
I
reasons.
think the reason why it came out, I think the reason why it came out fast, because I was thinking about that too, and I was reading some tweets about it, is like I forget who tweeted it out or who had the article for it, but I think they put that together already. Like they've been asking for weeks, like if Lamar Jackson gets non-exclusive, are you guys in the market? Are you guys in the market? So then I don't know if it was Garofolo or whoever sent out a list of people that are not interested, and it seemed like they had the conversations like 20 minutes ago, but I think he's had that list, or whoever put that out had that list together for a couple days now, and they're just waiting for Lamar to either sign or not sign. Because it would have happened way too fast if he just started calling people and everyone got back to him right away and be like, no, we're not interested. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's being perceived as right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? Oh, Atlanta Falcons were a huge one that came up, and they have the cap space. Carolina again, a team that desperately needs a quarterback. Those are really weird ones. From the Jets' perspective, again, couldn't have been better. Now we could not get screwed on the trade compensation, right? 2 firsts, no problem. Whatever it is, take the guaranteed $200 million, and we'll figure it out. I just don't know if maybe Joe Douglas has too of a good relationship with the Ravens to do that. Who knows what really goes on there? But listen, now we have 2 legitimate options. So I'll ask you 2 questions. 1, where do you think Lamar's actually going to end up? And 2, what do you think about the Jets' perspective in all of this?
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I think his plan B. I think that there's a chance that Lamar ends up with us if this Rodgers thing doesn't work out. I think there's a chance it ends up better for us in the long run, and maybe it should have been plan A because he's a young guy. Like you're saying, 2 or 3 years, we're back to looking for a quarterback. If we get Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that's the case with Lamar Jackson. If it's a 5-year fully guaranteed contract, then I'm expecting him to be here for at least 5 years and not sign an extension at some point towards the back end of that contract if everything's going well. So, I'm hoping it's with the Jets if we don't get Rodgers. And I think that would be a great thing for us because I love Lamar. I love the way he plays. Despite what people say, I believe that he could throw the football. I think if you're a Jets fan, you saw that week 1 when he was absolutely throwing bombs on us up and down the field.
You're taking the $200 million and the loss of the first round picks this year and next?
That is a tall order because it's fully guaranteed money. So you're looking at $50 million guaranteed a season for Lamar, and you're losing 2 first round picks, which is more than what you'd give up for Rodgers. It seems like we've talked about 1 first round pick and then some other picks at most.
Yeah, but you're talking about longevity versus 1 to 2 years max.
And that's why I'm okay with doing 2 first round picks. Lamar Jackson is the guy that you're hunting for. It's the guy we've all been hunting for 20, 30 years. As much as it makes me sick to my stomach to say, it's the guy we've been looking for since Mark Sanchez. So
let me ask you this.
2 first round picks, sure.
Do you think it bothers them that we skipped on him? He's the
You
guy we've
think
been looking
it
for, but we skipped on him. So now we could have drafted him. We didn't. We drafted another quarterback. His name was Sam Darnold. And then Lamar Jackson was the last pick. And now we're going to give up 2 extra first round picks and the guaranteed money for him. Do you think there's an ego part here? Do you think those factor into Lamar Jackson trade or signing?
do you think it like rubs Lamar Jackson the wrong way, or like Woody Johnson and the Jets organization?
Woody Johnson and the Jets, because it's
I'm
really costing them
sure.
3 first round picks, right? I mean, I guess whatever they got back from
And
for
time
Darnold.
and money, everything. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cost them I mean, if you want to put it down on paper, it's cost them 500 million, $1 billion of time lost and money and contracts that he spent when he could have spent them better because he screwed up and took Sam Darnold. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, dude, with any of these guys too, like I was talking to someone the other day about like the John Morant thing, and that's obviously way more serious than anything we're talking about here. But you go to these guys, whether it's Woody Johnson, whether it's Lamar Jackson, whatever it is, these are people since the day they were 3 years old, they could start playing football, said, I'm going to do this. And they went out and did it. The type of ego, the confidence, maybe is a better word for it, that comes with that said, Pop Warner, high school, through injuries, through adversity, through all this stuff, you get to this point and you are an MVP of the NFL with Super Bowl aspirations. Yeah, there's, I think, some ego involved there. Same thing with Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson, on the other, is a freaking billionaire. So, yeah, I think there's some ego at play. I'm hoping that they can put it aside a little bit and swallow it and say, hey, yeah, I did screw up and I did take Sam Darnold,
And here's a
and
quarter million
I should
though.
have drafted
And he
you.
and here's a $250,000 check and 2 first rounders though. That's a lot,
Dude.
dude. It's a tall order. I'm
Well,
okay. I'm
what?
okay with it, but it's definitely not my
Yeah.
option A. And it's definitely my option B, but like I'm not going to be ecstatic about it. I'm really not. Like I'm gonna be happy because it's Lamar Jackson and he's on my team and we're gonna figure it out. We have a bunch of rookies. Let's plug and play. We're gonna be contenders. But like I'm not gonna be like this is like we're you know
My thing is that if we don't do that, what are we doing? That's my whole thing.
that's,
Did we don't give
okay, that's if we're at
that we're
option
gonna
B.
that we're
You're
gonna
saying like
I'm saying
if
if we
our
don't
Rodgers
get
is gone.
like you said, that you're not ecstatic if we sign Lamar Jackson. I'm fucking singing from the rooftops if we sign Lamar Jackson, because it's the thing short of a Super Bowl, it's the thing we've all been dreaming of every single Sunday for 30 years.
I know.
So
And there's
yeah,
not a big
I'm
alternative.
ecstatic if it's 3 first round picks, 5 first round picks, if it's 300 million, 400 million, if
It
it's a
feels like
10-year
5.
contract,
It feels like
whatever
5.
it is.
It feels like really 4 because of the 2 that we'd have to give up, the Sam Darnold one, which we could have drafted him, and Zach Wilson. Like it really does feel like
Yeah.
those 4.
I'll salt bait two more first round picks on there for you, dude. Who cares? This is what we're all here for. It's
Okay, that's
Lamar
fair.
Jackson. It's a franchise quarterback.
But what if it hinders you from signing
Who cares? We got
like
the
Quinnen
guy, John.
Williams,
It's
Sauce
like it's like
Gardner?
saying you're gonna be upset that you bought a Ferrari because you can't buy a BMW. It's like,
No,
yeah, okay. It's like
no,
I
I'm
bought a
upset.
Ferrari though. I have the thing.
No, I'm upset if I buy a Ferrari, then I can't buy shoes for the next couple months, and I
No
can't
one's
eat.
saying we're not gonna be able to find, or we're gonna be able to afford players. We're gonna be able to afford players.
Barely though. We have to start shopping we have to start shopping. We have to start looking for coupons, and we're gonna have to start looking in the bottom
No,
section.
no. For a $50 million quarterback a season, John, there's like 6 of those in the NFL. The Chiefs aren't shopping with coupons. They have a $50 million quarterback. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of quarterbacks who are making 48 to
But think
$52
about the
million
Chiefs.
a year.
Chiefs are a good example. The Chiefs got rid of the Honey Badger. They just got rid of Clark. They can't re-sign Duane Brown. They're often the Thune was a big sign, but most everybody else is a bunch of rookies, which panned out, which we knew would pan out. But that's a different story for a different day. Made me sick to my stomach that Creed Humphrey was on Saturday Night Live. The guy everybody told me stinks, and I'm an idiot. He's on Saturday Night freaking Live now. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, that's Darnell Wright this year, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about it when we get there. No one's talking about Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright's a beast. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to sign him, and he's going to be amazing. I'm going to hate myself. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm just spiraling here. Maybe I'm just worried about the pieces around your team because The Chiefs lost players, dude. Tyreek Hill, but Mahomes is deodorant there. They're able to bring in Juju Schuster for 1 year and make him do well. Sky Moore, rookie, they're able to implement him. Tony, they're able to do something with him. You know what I mean? They're able to because of Kelsey. You know what I mean? Like they're able to, deodorize these things.
because of Kelsey, because of Patrick Mahomes, because of Andy Reid, because of the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, because of other staples on the team. But not only did they draft well, they also were able to sign people in free agency and bring people in free agency. Like, just because you sign someone for $50 million a year, I know the number is preposterous. It doesn't mean your franchise is suddenly cash strapped that you can't do anything. Like, plenty of teams go through this. You can get creative with caps with other players. You can cut and sign people. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's not going to hamper the team to the point we're going to be playing with backups. I mean, for Christ's sakes, this year we have Quinnen Williams starting a majority of games, and we have Zach Wilson on a rookie contract. So how much lower can we go with some of these position players that we've had on the team the last 2 or 3 years when we've had all the money in the world?
Well, think about it. Now, I mean, right now, depending on what we do with Carl Lawson and Franklin Myers, everybody's going to be on a rookie deal on the D line besides Quinnen Williams, right? At least they're bargains. Franklin Myers is a bargain, I guess. And then we'll see what happens with Lawson if we change up that contract. The linebackers, Mosley's paid. The other two, they're going to get some money. So there's allocations there. DJ Reed is paid. The other rookie's good to go, and Michael Carter is good to go. Other rookie being defensive player of the year, Sauce Gardner. And then the safeties. One of them we could save some money on, but we need a free safety. So like, there's so much money already. There's so many things that we need. We need a center. Like there's just so many things, dude. So I'm a little worried about it. But like, again, I'm gonna be happy. I guess once the gut punch comes that we alluded to earlier, from even though we knew Derek Carr was coming, I personally didn't panic, but I understood once he signed to the Saints the panic that ensued. Even though we all knew it was coming, we wanted it to come. It was his first love. It was a team that it all made sense. But it was still a gut punch. The gut punch from Aaron Rodgers once our brass goes there, you know what I mean? That one's gonna hurt. So
yeah,
I also feel you'll probably be dancing from the rooftops if we lose Aaron Rodgers and then we get Lamar Jackson for $200 million and 2 firsts, no problem. You know what I mean? I agree with you. But if it's an either or, I'm gonna be upset. But it's not an either or. It is the option B. So I guess I'm okay with the whole thing. Again, to wrap up this episode. Oh, go ahead.
It's just like the scenario of like, I don't know. Like I was thinking about the other day because someone was making a comment somewhere and joking about the season where we were tanking for Trevor Lawrence. We ended up with Zach Wilson because we won a meaningless game.
I was listening to that too. I forgot where that was.
Yeah, where was that? And they were all making fun of the Jets. So in our group chat, we had people that were screaming and yelling and complaining, and people on Twitter that were screaming, yelling, and complaining about the Jets going with no wins and how it will be the laughing stock. Will be the laughing stock of the NFL. People will be talking about it for years to come. People will be talking about this and that. And I was saying we have to lose every game because Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent. Trevor Lawrence can set your franchise up for 20 years, and he's good to go. We should lose every single game. Now, 3 years removed from that, 2 years removed from that, whatever it is, people are making fun of us because we won the game. People were so hell-bent on winning. Like, it's crazy that we're the laughing stock still. We're still the laughing stock. As soon as we sign Lamar Jackson, people are going to be laughing because we paid $250 million and we gave up 2 first-round picks and all stuff, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter until you win, and the first step to winning is getting a franchise quarterback. Then Joe Douglas can do what he needs to do, sign the guys, draft the guys, do what he needs to do. But you have to get the quarterback. Rodgers is option A. Lamar Jackson is option B. We'll see what happens. The brain trust is in California. I repeat, the brain trust is in California.
And on that note,
happen.
A quick recap of this episode. Duane Brown coming back, left tackle. Mekhi Becton, hopefully the right tackle. The guards seem to be solidified as well. We're definitely looking for a center. Keep your eye on the kid from Minnesota. Wide receiver stuff, we'll see what happens once we figure out the quarterback situation. Derek Carr gone. Aaron Rodgers, We're on the watch. We're watching planes. We're watching messages. We're all over Twitter. Any Twitter notification I get, I start freaking out right now.
Yeah, Jay Malik on Twitter, Winning Peak Weekly on Twitter is me, Knicks, Jets, etc. on Twitter and every social media platform. Come check us out because we are stalking it for now. We are stalking it.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. On that note, you know what it is. Knicks comment, Jets comment, etc. Period on our YouTube. Like and subscribe so you can see our beautiful faces, these graphics we got going on here. We're working on some things and some stuff, as people like to say. We also are on all audio listening platforms on Apple, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon,
Amazon
Stitcher.
Alexa, Stitcher.
We're all there.
We are
Hit us
there.
up. Give us that 5-star review. Give us that like. Hit us up on the comments. We'll hit you back. Winning Picks Weekly.
Absolutely.
Be back from March Madness. I've been kind of off the college basketball trail, I'll be honest with you. So that'll just be a fun one for me. And that's about it. We got draft stuff, man. We got draft stuff coming up for the Jets. I'm hyped, dude. I'm gonna tell you everything. I know so much about the Jets. I can't wait to throw up just all draft knowledge. I know, but it's hard to care as much as I really, really want to until I know who our quarterback is, what scheme we're running with that, and what picks we have. So I'm just holding back as much as I can before we get into all that. League's about to start. And look for us on the Knicks stuff. The whole Hornets team's getting technical fouls right now. I'm getting hyped. Knicks are about to be on a 10-game win streak. They're playing on my birthday in Sacramento. And then I'm going for the Clippers and Lakers game. I got 40 heads coming to the Knicks Heat game. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready for the playoffs. Paid my playoff package already. They have me paying for everything up to the championship, so I'm down. And they're so smart because I don't care. They take all my money for in the championship. We're in the finals for Knicks tickets. I don't care. I'm hyped, man. Rangers are good. Devils are good. I don't. The rivalry doesn't bother me as much as it does others. I'm just a casual. Yankees are doing great. We're about to have a real shortstop. IKF send them to the Dodgers. Mets are looking good. Everything's looking good, man. Everything's looking good right now. Any
Let's
last
go
note?
Jets. Let's go Jets.
JTS. Oh my god, I heard the stupidest thing from, I think her name is Shelly Duncan. Maybe it was her, maybe it wasn't. So I don't know if it wasn't. Like one of the ESPN anchors. She was talking to Ryan Clark, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, he's a perfect fit in New York." They're asking Ryan Clark about the media, like, and he was like, "Yeah, he's gonna be fine." And then he's like, "Yeah, he's gonna be fine." They both like to spell RELAX JETS. All right, sounds good. Whatever works, bro.
Connect the dots.
Let's go Jets.